Self-acceptance is not about complacency or settling for less. It's not about saying, I'm good enough as I am, and then halting all efforts for improvement. Rather, it's about recognizing our inherent worth regardless of our flaws, imperfections, or shortcomings. Self-acceptance is the recognition that we are enough just as we are in this very moment. It is the understanding that our value is not contingent on our achievements, our appearance, or our success, but on our inherent humanity. This realization allows us to step away from the need for external validation and to turn inward for the strength and confidence we need to pursue our dreams. Good morning, afternoon, everyone. Today we gather here to explore something profound: the journey to awaken our inner greatness. It's a concept we all strive toward, yet it often feels elusive. Many of us think of greatness as something reserved for a few exceptional individuals, but I'm here to tell you that greatness resides within each of us. It is not a distant goal, it's a present reality waiting to be awakened. So how do we unlock this greatness? How do we uncover the potential that lies dormant within us? There are three fundamental principles that hold the key to unleashing your inner greatness: vulnerability, courage, and self-acceptance. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness in our society. We are conditioned to believe that to be successful, we must appear strong, invulnerable, and flawless. The idea of showing weakness, of opening ourselves up to others, seems like an invitation for criticism or failure. But in truth, vulnerability is not the absence of strength, it is its very foundation. It is in vulnerability that we discover our deepest courage and our true greatness. When we talk about vulnerability, we're not referring to simply being emotionally exposed. Vulnerability goes much deeper than that. It's the courage to be ourselves in the face of judgment, rejection, or failure. It's about allowing ourselves to be seen, not as a perfected version of who we think we should be, but as we truly are: imperfect, flawed, and human. It is the willingness to be authentic, to share our fears, our dreams, and our struggles with others. It is in this openness that we invite real connection and understanding. Many of us fear vulnerability because we associate it with risk. We fear that by being open, we will invite rejection or hurt. But what if the opposite is true? What if our vulnerability is the key to fostering deeper, more meaningful relationships? When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we show others that they too can be real and authentic. Vulnerability creates an environment where trust can flourish. It is only through sharing our own experiences, our own difficulties, and our own imperfections that we create space for others to do the same. In this mutual openness, we find connection. To be vulnerable is also to take a risk, one that is necessary for personal growth. Vulnerability requires stepping outside of our comfort zone, confronting the fears that hold us back, and embracing the uncertainty that comes with taking chances. Every time we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we face the possibility of failure or hurt, but it is this very risk that enables us to grow. Without the willingness to fail, to try something new, or to share our authentic selves, we remain stagnant. Greatness cannot be achieved without stepping into the unknown, without taking risks that may not always pay off. Vulnerability, then, is not something to be feared, it is something to be embraced as a tool for growth. The most significant transformation comes when we begin to see vulnerability as a source of strength rather than a weakness. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we release the need to be perfect or in control. We stop hiding behind masks of who we think we should be, and we start embracing who we truly are. This acceptance of our imperfections is liberating. It is only when we let go of the illusion of perfection that we are able to unlock our full potential. Moreover, vulnerability fosters a deep sense of self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on ourselves when we're constantly striving to meet external expectations or societal standards. But when we embrace vulnerability, we acknowledge that we are doing the best we can with the resources and understanding we have at the time. We allow ourselves the space to make mistakes, to stumble, and to learn without the harsh judgment that often accompanies self-criticism. In the process of awakening our inner greatness, vulnerability is a crucial component. It allows us to break free from the shackles of perfectionism and fear. It invites us to step into our authentic selves, creating the foundation for deeper relationships and personal growth. Only through vulnerability can we find the courage to take risks, face challenges head-on, and discover the power that lies within us. Courage and resilience are two of the most powerful forces we can cultivate on our journey to awaken our inner greatness. These qualities do not come from a place of avoiding challenges, but rather from a willingness to face them head-on, to embrace discomfort, and to continue moving forward despite the obstacles that may lie in our path. In fact, it is often in the most difficult moments of our lives that we discover our true strength, our deepest capacity for growth, and the unwavering spirit that leads us to greatness. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of it. We all experience fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. These fears are natural, and they are a part of the human experience. But it is how we choose to respond to these fears that determines our ability to achieve greatness. Courage is the decision to step into the arena of life, knowing that fear may be present, but choosing to keep going anyway. It's about taking risks, making bold moves, and pushing ourselves beyond the boundaries of what we think is possible. Resilience, on the other hand, is the ability to bounce back from adversity. Life will inevitably present challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. These moments can feel crushing, and they may leave us questioning whether we are strong enough to keep going. But resilience is what allows us to rise again, to rebuild, and to continue our journey despite the setbacks. Resilience is not about being invulnerable to hardship. It is about having the inner strength to endure, to learn from our experiences, and to keep going even when the road gets tough. Together, courage and resilience form a powerful dynamic that propels us forward on our path to greatness. Courage allows us to face our fears, to take that first step, and to make the bold decisions necessary to move us closer to our goals. But it is resilience that enables us to stay the course when things don't go as planned, when we face setbacks or failures, and when our confidence wavers. Without resilience, the courage to act would be short-lived, and without courage, resilience would have no direction. The two qualities work hand in hand to create the momentum needed to navigate life's ups and downs while continuing to strive for greatness. It's important to understand that resilience doesn't mean that we have to be strong all the time or that we never feel overwhelmed. In fact, true resilience often comes from the willingness to acknowledge our vulnerability and our struggles. When we experience a setback or failure, it's easy to want to give up or to beat ourselves up for not having succeeded. But resilience allows us to see these moments as opportunities for learning and growth. Instead of viewing failure as something to avoid, we begin to see it as a necessary part of the journey. We understand that mistakes and setbacks are not indicators of our inability, but rather stepping stones on the path to success. Courage and resilience also require patience. We must be patient with ourselves as we navigate challenges, and we must give ourselves the grace to fail and try again. Greatness is not achieved overnight, and the road to success is rarely linear. It's a winding path filled with twists and turns, moments of doubt, and periods of struggle. But each step, each setback, and each act of courage strengthens us, building the resilience we need to keep going. When we cultivate courage and resilience, we create a solid foundation for personal growth and transformation. These qualities allow us to tap into a well of strength that we may not even have known existed within us. They help us push through the discomfort of uncertainty, embrace the lessons of failure, and keep moving forward, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Courage and resilience are the cornerstones of greatness. They allow us to confront the fears and challenges that stand between us and our potential. By cultivating both, we not only awaken our inner greatness, but we also develop the mindset and perseverance needed to sustain it. It's through our courage to face the unknown and our resilience to rise after each fall that we truly become the best versions of ourselves. Self-acceptance is one of the most transformative practices we can engage in when it comes to awakening our inner greatness. It is the foundation upon which all other aspects of personal growth and achievement are built. So often we find ourselves chasing perfection or trying to meet external standards of success, believing that we must change who we are in order to be worthy of greatness. We measure our worth by the approval of others, comparing ourselves to unrealistic ideals or societal expectations. But true greatness can never be achieved from a place of self-rejection. It is only through embracing and accepting ourselves exactly as we are that we can fully tap into the potential that lies within us. Self-acceptance is not about complacency or settling for less. It's not about saying, "I'm good enough as I am," and then halting all efforts for improvement. Rather, it's about recognizing our inherent worth, regardless of our flaws, imperfections, or shortcomings. Self-acceptance is the recognition that we are enough, just as we are in this very moment. It is the understanding that our value is not contingent on our achievements, our appearance, or our success, but on our inherent humanity. This realization allows us to step away from the need for external validation and to turn inward for the strength and confidence we need to pursue our dreams. One of the most liberating aspects of self-acceptance is that it frees us from the constant pressure to be perfect. Perfectionism is a silent killer of greatness. It makes us believe that we have to get everything right, that we have to be flawless in our every action and decision. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion. Nobody is perfect, and the pursuit of perfection often leads us into a cycle of self-criticism and burnout. When we accept ourselves, we release the need to be flawless. We acknowledge that it's okay to make mistakes, to be imperfect, and to have setbacks. We learn to be gentle with ourselves and embrace the process of growth rather than focusing on the outcome alone. It is through this process of continuous learning and growth that we awaken our greatest potential. Self-acceptance also allows us to break free from the grip of comparison. It's easy to look at others and feel like we're falling short, especially in a world that constantly bombards us with images of success and achievement. We measure our progress against others, thinking that if we haven't reached a certain level by a certain age, we're somehow failing. But when we accept ourselves, we recognize that our path is unique. Our journey is our own, and we don't need to measure it against anyone else's. Self-acceptance allows us to celebrate our own milestones, however big or small, and to appreciate the individual progress we're making without getting caught up in comparing ourselves to others. At the core of self-acceptance is the practice of self-compassion. Self-compassion is the ability to treat ourselves with the same kindness, care, and understanding that we would offer a close friend. When we make a mistake or experience a failure, we often tend to beat ourselves up, criticizing ourselves for not being better, smarter, or more capable. But self-compassion reminds us that we are human and that mistakes are part of the journey. It teaches us to treat ourselves with kindness when things don't go as planned, rather than with harsh judgment. This self-compassion gives us the freedom to keep going, to try again, and to stay committed to our personal growth, even when the road gets tough. Self-acceptance is also a gateway to deeper self-awareness. When we accept ourselves fully, we can begin to truly understand who we are, what we want, and what drives us. We stop denying or hiding parts of ourselves that we may have once deemed unworthy or undesirable. Instead, we start to embrace all of who we are, our strengths, our weaknesses, our quirks, and our talents. This self-awareness empowers us to make choices that align with our authentic selves, rather than trying to fit into roles or expectations imposed by others. It is through this alignment with our true selves that we can create lives that are meaningful, fulfilling, and lead us to our greatest potential. In the pursuit of greatness, self-acceptance is not a destination, but a practice. It is something we must choose each day as we navigate the ups and downs of life. But when we commit to this practice, we create a foundation of strength, confidence, and resilience from which we can build everything else. Only by accepting ourselves fully, without judgment or reservation, can we truly awaken the greatness that resides within us. And it is only through this process of self-acceptance that we can live our most authentic, empowered, and fulfilled lives.